Continuing on where we left off, which was we've added a backing track to our project, and now it's your choice. You could sing over it, you could rap over it, you could, if it's country, sing country, you could just talk, you could do stream of consciousness, say a bunch of random things. You could read poetry, you could write your own poetry and read it. You could just do a whole whatever creative route you decide to go is fine with me, as long as you do something that takes some effort and is kind of artistic in some way. All right, so then let's hit record. I've already pressed the R, so it's armed for recording, and you can see the little meter moving, so that means my microphone's picking up. And if that microphone turns red, like if you get too close to it, you can see it's gonna peak, and you don't want it to be too loud. So I'll just hit record, and then I'll read this silly poetry stuff I wrote. This is the small-time professor coming to you live from the hot potato with some life advice. It looks like it peaked, so I'm going to stop it. First of all, I messed up at the start. I kind of stumbled my words, and so I'm just going to hit delete, and that's important for you to know that you can do that too. So I'm going to hit record, and I'm going to try to remember to sit back away from the mic a little bit. This is the small-time professor coming to you live from the hot potato with some life advice. Now, I understand some of you won't be needing any, some of you won't be wanting any, but I can assure you, some of you need all the help you can get. So without further ado, when you see a penny on the ground, look away quickly. Did you know not all frogs are nice? Never wash an apple. Don't give in to those crazy conspiracy theories. I've changed my mind about not wanting to forget about remembering to stay here if I can't find what I accidentally lost yesterday right after I found it. Don't be a moron. That only creates more competition, which drives down the prices of morons everywhere. Next thing you know, they'll all be worthless. I think. Tune in next week for more life advice with the professor. See you then. All right, so just some silly, lyrics, if you will. Now, obviously, I didn't last as long as the track, so I'm going to hit minus right here so I can see the whole track. You can also hit this zoom out full, and now I'll grab the end of this. I just mouse over the end and drag it over. And now I think, I'd like to hit full, but it's not. Okay, there. For some reason, it didn't show zoom out full until I zoomed in a little bit. So, all right, let me take a listen to it. In fact, I usually try to keep my record track clear, so I'm going to drag this one down and drag that one down. And yeah, so let me listen to a little bit of this. This is the small-time professor coming to you live. So if you can hear that, you can tell my voice is not nearly as loud as the music, so I'm going to have to do something about that. And it's generally not that good of an idea to turn things up all the time. It'd be better to turn this down. I'm going to go -5 and hit enter and try to get it balanced out that way. This is the small-time professor coming to you live from the hot potato with some life advice. All right, now, if I open up this track, if I mouse over like this and bring this down, you can see all of these slots right here. I'm going to click on one of them and say filter and EQ, and I'm going to go to Parametric Equalizer. And here's where we can shape the voice. So there's a lot of the bass in the voice doesn't really need to be there, and it just competes with the bass frequencies. And by the way, you wouldn't have to do this. Let's see, vocal enhancer. There we go. So you can see that with this, these are all built in. These are already predefined by whoever programmed this application. So they're called presets. You can notice they carved out all that bass, and that's generally a good idea. Like just the other day, I was helping with some sound equipment in the gym, and one of the teachers who was talking, just sounded really muddy. And the way I solved it was carving out the bass. All of a sudden, just by having the mid and high frequencies, you could hear what the person was saying much better. And there's certain frequencies, like right here, it dips down, probably because that's a zone where there's generally muddiness or boominess or roominess. And then they really cranked up the highs here. That's probably because they're trying to make it customized for like singing vocals. But we're going to go ahead and go with that and call it good. So now there is one effect. The parametric equalizer has been applied to this track. And if I swap places with these, if I switch this up here, then whatever's on this track is going to be affected by those things. I'm not going to switch tracks. I'm going to leave this. In fact, I'm going to double click here and call this vocal, or if you want to be cool, Vox. And I'll say this is jazz or whatever. Double click jazz. Whoops. What's up? Jazz track. Okay. So then I'll click this and let's put compression. Dynamics processing? No. Remove effect. Let's see which one of these. I think dynamics is probably good. Medium compression? I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure if I like that. You can turn it off. I'm going to keep it there, but I'm going to turn it off by clicking this. And let me try a different one, and we'll just kind of toggle. Tube modeled compressor. Maybe that's better. Let's see, more punch. Voice thicker. So that's probably better. Now I'm going to turn on the other one too, because sometimes with vocals, it turns out that, especially with like music vocals, having a couple different compressors working together, it turns out better. So let me see what that sounds like. Live from the hot potato with some life advice. Now, I understand some of you won't be needing any, some of you won't be wanting any, but I can assure you, some of you need all the help you need. I'm going to pull this down and go -7. Maybe I'll turn it down even further, -10. Look away quickly. Did you know? Yeah, because the focus here is what's being said, and you don't want that competing too much. This is the small-time professor coming to you live from the hot potato with some light. And you can also add, let's see, I don't know if reverb would be good. Studio, let's do, I don't know. Yeah, it's warning us that if you apply that, it's going to possibly affect the playback. So I don't think I'm going to have that. I'm going to just delete that. There you go, remove effect. So this is sounding pretty good. And what I want to do is click here and fade in a little bit. So this is the small-time professor coming to you live. And then when we get near the end, I'm going to do like a longer fade. Tune in next week for more life advice with the professor. See you then. Yeah, maybe I'll actually drag that out a little longer so it's not so abrupt. See you then. Yeah, that sounds good. So I'm going to hit save. And that'll be it for this installment. And if I come up with more advice for this project, I'll just add to it in a future video.